Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the lecture so far, I've really been focusing on virtual reality. And so I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about augmented reality and what the current landscape looks like. Because whereas a device like the Oculus Go might only cost a few $100s, but give you really amazing experiences in virtual reality, the cheapest good augmented reality headset is going to cost you at least $4,000 to $5,000. So it's a technology that's not imminent in the way that virtual reality feels like it is, but it is a technology that I think has the potential to have a much greater impact. Now, you'll remember from the history of virtual and augmented reality, Ivan Sutherland's ultimate display, which superimposed a virtual image over the user's view of the real world. But this virtual image was an object that felt like it had physical presence, as though it existed in the real environment, as opposed to being just digital. In 2016, and this was a huge surprise when they did this, Microsoft released the HoloLens device, and in the same year, mobile augmented reality was popularized by Pokemon Go, a huge success and an augmented reality game. And I'm going to show you what the Microsoft HoloLens looks like.
Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways.
So you can see in this video what augmented reality is supposed to be like. It is the display of virtual information in the physical environment in ways that are aware of that physical environment. And when you're in virtual reality, you can both see the real world and the virtual world. And that's exciting, right? With our phones, every day, walking down any street, we'll see people walking along with their phones in their hands, walking directly into traffic. And so being able to wear that on our face is one of the reasons why Apple is currently spending big to develop its own augmented reality glasses. And when Apple release a consumer AR device, you know that that's going to be when it has hit the big time. Now, augmented reality devices have two core components. Depth sensors that are constantly measuring the room around them, sweeping using a 3D depth sensor to be able to map that room, create a digital map of that physical environment. And then waveguide lenses that are able to visualize objects at different focal distances. So it appears as though it's further away or closer, and it has 3D, that depth perspective, because each eye is getting a slightly different version of that 3D image. Because the headset knows where the wall is, it can throw something up on the wall, and then when you move around, it stays put. But one of the main limitations of the current generation of augmented reality headsets is the extremely limited field of view. A display that is able to wrap all the way around our eyes is currently not possible. And instead, and as this video shows, you have a very limited field of view. So you see the way that this image is being cut off at the top and at the bottom. That's where the user's field of view is. Now, I've used a HoloLens a lot, and it really it matters less than you think. And the parallel for that is in something like mobile augmented reality, where it still has a really limited field of view. It's only what you can see through the device So if you look at it around the device, you're not going to see the digital thing that's there. But you still get that really profound sense of presence, even if you're not seeing 100% of it at once or all of the time. And I want this idea of physical presence of virtual objects to be what you really try to think about as what the opportunities for augmented reality might be in your assignment. And this, I think, is one of the best demonstrations of the potential for physical presence in augmented reality, and what Microsoft call holopresence. So I'll show you this video demonstration.
And that's exactly what we're going to demonstrate to you right now. My daughter is stood in a similar capture rig somewhere else in our lab, and she's going to holoport into my space, and I'm going to interact with her wearing my HoloLens.
Hi, Bob, I miss you.
Hey, Lilia, I miss you too.
You coming home?
I'm coming home very soon. Let me get out of your way. Hey, Lilia, you can only hear me, you can't see me, but what are these toys?
I have toys to show you. This one, his name is Elmo.
Elmo?
And he can sing.
He can sing, wow. And what about the other one?
So you can really imagine the sense of physical presence that this display would give you, of having another person in your physical environment. And when we try out HoloLens, and when I give HoloLens to people for the first time, one of the things that I do is that I put a couple of holograms just on the floor, just a puppy on the floor, in your way. And I swear 99 out of 100 students will step gently around that puppy. They will not stand on it or walk through it because of that sensation of physical presence that augmented reality affords. And to be honest, I really question that one student who just walks through that puppy. So I'm going to leave you on this point with this question. Is the future virtual reality or augmented reality? This image is from one of Apple's augmented reality patents. Is the future a world in which we close ourselves off from the real world to go to totally virtual locations? Or is the future a world where we interact, where the physical and digital worlds are so closely merged that we never leave either? Bring that to the tutorials for discussion. And some final key points for the assignment. Don't want you thinking about VR or AR as completely new or separate technologies, right? Their experiences and effects have current comparables. Draw on those to inspire realistic ideas about where VR and AR could have a really big impact. What I want you to think about is, where is VR or AR going to have really going to turn the dial up on what currently isn't possible. And to do this, I want you identifying what is heightened by head-mounted virtual reality or augmented reality. Presence, realism, holopresence, physical presence, embodied cognition is going to be key for doing really well. And then identifying where these concepts could make an impact. Something like education, sales, training, or persuasive technologies. You might want to think about bringing an initial version of your idea to your tutorials to discuss and get feedback on. Thanks very much for joining me in this lecture, and look forward to seeing you next week.